Hello guys, and welcome to my second video of Visual Studio Xamarin tutorials. So today I'm going to show you around environment. So let's get started. On the right side you'll see your Solution Explorer, and here you're going to see all of your lightouts, activities, classes, and everything you add to your application. So for example, in Resource and Drawables you can see your icon. So in Drawables you're adding all of your images that you're going to use, for example for the background or for button or anything. Pretty simple default one. Your lightout is the user interface, and your application have multiple lightouts. So let's say you're making a contacts application, you're gonna have one lightout for showing up all of your contacts, you're gonna have the second one for like dial, you have the third one they're gonna show the info for contact. So you got a point. That's basically your pages, and your activity is the code that corresponds to lightout. So basically connect your lightout to your activity. Let's check the activity first. So in activity, this is by default, you can see on top it says main launcher true, and this means that when you start your application, this is the code they're gonna run first. That wasn't there by default. You're declaring stuffs in here in public class. You can declare it here, but then when you declare it in this protected override, you'll be able to use them only from this bracket to this bracket. And if you declare it here, that's going to be the public one, and you can use it throughout whole this activity. So you can have multiply functions here that gonna do a certain part of program, or you have multiple buttons and each button is doing something. But in every of those functions, every of those buttons, you will be able to use the variables that you declare here. Declaring a variable is very simple, and you're doing that by just typing a type, and let's say it's int, and then give it a name. You can do multiply them. You can also give them a value up here. Let's say 1. It's more interesting. Or you can declare a string, for example, and you can also give it a name like. Oops. Where is it? Okay. Also, you can declare a character, C, and character goes in this one's like, it's under my finger. And we will be able to use all of these throughout whole code. The next thing you can see is set content view, and what this gonna do, when it's open up, it's gonna set this lightout to be displayed. So in our case, when our program starts, it's going to check, is this the main launcher? True, so it is. The next thing it's gonna do, it's gonna set this activity, like this lightout, to be shown up to our screen, to be our main. So the next thing I want to show you is your toolbox and properties. So the toolbox contain all the stuffs that you can put into your lightout. So let's say you add a button, and now in properties you can edit that button, and you can change a lot of stuffs. You can use even controls in here like margins. So you can make this button inside a bit, make it move from top, make it wider, and if you check the properties, you'll see that those things are changed. The most important thing is ID. So the ID, well, basically using ID when you're declaring stuffs in activities. So if I want to declare a button and I want that button to correspond to this one, I'll use this ID to tell my code the button I'm just declaring is correspond to this button. So when someone click this button in my code, the button that I declared gonna act as clicked. So make sure the variety you always set something that you will remember, something that you will recognize throughout your code. So when you see a dots, I don't know, result, you know what button that exactly is, or text view or text edit or pretty much anything of these. Well, you can change the background of a button right here, you can change the text but just double click, and much more, but I'll go through that in some other tutorials. We're going to show you how to design your application. The error list is pretty much going to show you when you're missing something. Let's say it's this, expect that, and just bring it back. Or if you're missing this, it's here, so add it back. Sometimes error is going to be very complicated and you won't be able to recognize what you're missing. It's not going to tell you like that and that is a problem. It's going to give you just a code and some complicated text, so you'll need to figure out what's the problem. You can do it by going to output, and when you actually build something and get error, here you can see everything that was happening and you can see where exactly that error is happening. Even then you might have problems, so you can search the web for that specific error. Throughout this, I'll have one tutorial going to explain some of like errors that I got the most. I think I'm going to show you is this part here, and that's pretty much your emulator. You're going to start application by clicking on this, and this is the emulator I show you where how to get in my last episode. Oops, not this one. And if you missed that episode, definitely check out. And here you can see a button that doesn't do anything. Okay, and last thing I wanted to show you is how to add multiple loadouts. So let's just go here. Make sure you add all of your loadouts to your loadouts folder. And let's go add on this. Well, I'll just leave loadout 1. And here's our loadout 1. And if we're gonna add a code, like another activity, we can do it just in this blank space. Add item. That's a big activity. Just call it activity 1. And as you can see, there is another activity. In this one, you can see much more of these. This is your libraries, by the way. But you don't just use system for now. Like that's the only one we're going to need use in the next few tutorials. I'm going to explain why. And as you can see here, we don't have the set content view, so just put one set content view and resource dot layout. Oops. So when activity 1 appears, it's gonna set the view to layout 1. Okay, that's all from this episode, and see you in the next one.